This episode of The Inspiration Show is so incredibly special because one of my favorite people is here and he makes me laugh harder than anyone. He is an amazingly talented superstar and truly one of the funniest people out there. He recently completed his run as Elder Cunningham in the national tour of Book of Mormon and is now Broadway's newest shining star as Elder Cunningham in the Book of Mormon on Broadway, making thousands of people laugh each night. I am so beyond excited to welcome the incredible Diego Enrico to the Inspiration Show. Thank you so much, Diego, for joining me. I have so much love and admiration for you, and it's such an honor
Oh,
to have you here.
thank you. That was such a lovely intro. Oh my God.
So, when did you discover that you had a passion for singing and theater?
Man, oh, I really have to analyze my past for that. I mean, for theater, it came like really, I liked doing it in like middle school was when I joined. And I thought that was always fun. My first musical was The Lion King. I played Scar. And that was like, yeah, that was a blast. I will never surpass that. That was the greatest performance of my life.
Yeah.
Um, my mom loves to remind me of that. My uncle was like, "That's when I knew you did that musical. That's when I knew that you were gonna do this for a living." I was like, "All right." Um, but it was really like for me. I always loved like music when I was younger. I loved like it's like a Linkin Park fan. I don't know if you know Linkin Park. They were like this like rock band, whatever, and I was like always like memorizing songs. I used to like go to the library and print out lyrics to like any song that I liked and just like would try and memorize it just 'cause.
Yeah.
And so I think like I've always had like a musical inclination in a way. Like I just really enjoyed it. And singing as like a really like thing that I was competent at didn't really come until like till like high school. I didn't
Mm.
take any voice lessons or anything. I was just trying to. I just basically I said the whole like singing thing when I was like printing stuff out was because I did a lot of like mimicry when I was younger. I would just like to mimic things and like try and like have like impressions of things. And so like a lot of my singing came from just like listening to people and being like, well, I guess I'm just gonna try and make that exact same sound until I like got voice lessons and they were like, stop trying to sound like Jeremy Jordan or Ben Platt, do something else. Um, so yeah, that was really like my intro to that, and I just fell in love with it slowly through high school, and then really it was like, you know what, I feel like I can really do this as a career, and so I was a late bloomer. I decided to audition for college for like musical theater college, and then like the rest is history.
Oh, yeah. What inspired you to become a performer, and who's been an inspiration of yours throughout your career?
Oh man. Um, I don't know that there's one person that inspired me to become a performer. Um, I just like everything that I've done is has always been like a collage of inspirations from different people in my life, like family members and friends. And I mean, I say this all the time. One of my like very best friends, basically I all of my comedy is tailored to him, or at least like I always would like be like this guy's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and so I try and like be like my comedy was shaped a lot by his. My best friend Andrew Gregg, shout out Andrew. Um, but I feel like a lot of the times, like my inspirations just come from like random shit that I think is funny and fun and cool. Um, and like there is no like one thing. I mean, like if I had to give an answer of like, oh, the person that I like admired the most growing up, it must have been like Ben Platt for sure
I
was huge
King.
for me. The King.
Same. Same.
Ben Platt and like Jeremy Jordan was also huge, but who Jeremy Jordan was huge for every tenor boy growing
Yeah.
up. Not that I consider myself a tenor, but like that, and then like oh man, like in terms of just like sheer artistry. I mean, like it's the basic answers. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda was huge for me too growing up.
Yeah.
Um, I was always just because I was not entrenched in musical theater world, so I really like. coming into it late, most of the things I knew were Newsies, Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, the Book of Mormon, things that were like pretty mainstream and that like I just really loved and sort of
Clung
whatever,
to. Yeah, you got it.
clung to. Um, and that's sort of where my love started to develop and grow out of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All of the musical theater legends, and now you're in this legendary show in a role that Ben Platt played.
yeah, yeah,
Ew.
literally,
It's
yeah,
so
it's
so full
crazy.
circle. Oh, so can you take us back to the first time you experienced theater and how you're feeling at the time?
Yeah, experience. So do you mean like watched?
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure. I'm sure I've seen theater. I think my first experience with like live theater was like Beauty and the Beast. It was like an opera thing in Peru, I think. I don't exactly remember, and I just remember like falling asleep. I was again like theater came very late into my life. I think like in my school when I was living in Peru, I lived in Peru. I don't know if I mentioned that. Whatever. My family is Peruvian. I grew up in Peru for a little while, and I remember watching Annie. I think the school was putting on a production of Annie. Um, I didn't remember it at all. Uh my true like I mean like I have to say like some of my first experience in theater was like being in one of the shows. Yeah, I think so. Like I was at like Cinderella was like the first play that I did, and I think that was like my first real experience with theater. Um maybe I'm like misremembering things, but I think so.
No,
Um
I love that.
yeah, that was that like really like things that cemented my like
Yeah.
love for it was really getting to do it and having that outlet for myself. Like I've always been like I used to when I was younger run around in the playground and pretend I was like in like some movie or like TV show. I was always like into like shit like
Yes.
that, and I just was like, "Oh, like you telling me I can like do this and like pretend to be something and then like people are gonna watch it and it'll be really fun and cool." And it was, and I love it. So I think like really for me, like what cemented my love for it was like doing it and like
Yeah.
getting to be like, here, this is what I like to do. It's fun.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So you've truly done it all from regional productions to readings and workshops, and you've been a part of theater at many stages of a show's journey. So what excites you most about being in the room where a story is still taking shape? And are there any regional theater productions you've been a part of that particularly stand out?
Yeah, I when I say regional, I'm kind of cheating. It was a school attached to my university. So I was like it was the Madison Theater where it's sort of Malloy's theater that is part of it, and
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
in the Cap 21 program get kind of priority auditioning for it and stuff like that. Outside of that, I really didn't do a lot. I don't think I did any community theater
Mm.
or like regional contracts and stuff. I kind of just graduated from college and got the Book of Mormon, and then now I'm here,
My
sort of by
king.
accident. But no, I mean, for me in college, we there was this project called. It was originally called the. It was called something else. It was a different kind of project, and it sort of became more of um, like new musicals type thing, and then became a small musical. Like they did Spring Awakening the year after I left, but we were doing sort of musicals in production or musicals that were still being worked on. And I got to do Axmas, which was this like hilarious holiday show. It was like about Christmas trees. Like everyone was a Christmas tree, or everyone was like a pine tree, like in the tree farm, and they'd all go to like high school. It was basically like an '80s slasher comedy. It's hilarious. Like it was so much fun. Um, and that was like I was always telling my friends because like we did. the final shows our senior year, but I was like, man, I really like the most fun I had doing a show was doing Xmas because it was just like getting to like shape this character kind of in a new way that like there wasn't any like tracks for me to listen to or anything that I could get influenced by. It was just like, oh shit, I just get to have fun right now.
Yeah.
With this character was like my bread and butter. Like I really, really loved doing that. I was so bummed because there was this they asked me back to do a 29-hour reading with them um this past like week. And I was
He's
so
on
excited to be able
Broadway.
to do it. But yeah, I mean the timing would have worked out, but I ended up having like a mandatory HR meeting that I had to go to that I was
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
oh dang it. I have to, learn about the HR stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But truly like working on things on the ground level is so much fun. There was this project also in my college that was about like it's called the creative ensemble where like you get a group of people and we make a musical.
That's
Uh
so cool.
it's so cool. It's so much fun. Or at least I had a lot of fun. Other people didn't have fun, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. But we were paired up. We had got like a director, and our director was Rob Rokiki. Do you know Rob Rokiki?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Rob Rokiki, and we were working with two directors basically, and he helped us with like writing a lot of the music and stuff like that. Um, and he was awesome, and basically it was so we did like a triptych, so we did like three parts, like three separate stories that are loose, incredibly loosely related, only in terms of like they were all held in one apartment building, but
Yeah.
everything was like different floors.
That's
And
so cool.
mine was, I basically, this is my baby. I fucking loved it, and somebody should take this and run with it and do it. But I was like, I basically did like a Les Mis like parody, but they're all rats. Um, and so like it's just like a floor in like an apartment building that's like basically been like taken over by rats. Because it's just been neglected, and then like humans want to move in, and they basically like there's like a notice of like extermination for the rats, and the rats try fighting back, and it's this whole like there's like this Angel rat instead of Angelos. It's like the one like rallying people together to fight the humans. It's like not really a Les Mis parody, but it's like basically it takes from like the sound of Les Mis, and it was just and I played Rat Val Rat, and he was just the voice of reason being like, no, we have to like run, we can't stay here and fight, like they're gonna kill us all.
You
I've
have
seen
to
this
text me the
before.
script to this,
Dude,
please.
it's ridiculous. I don't even know where that script is, but I had a blast doing it. There's just this like 10-minute short of just like all these rats are gonna try and fight off the invasion, and of course they're obliterated. They all die at the end. It's my favorite. It's so much fun to work on.
Oh my gosh. So you completed your run in the national tour of the Book of Mormon as Elder Cunningham and have recently transferred to Broadway to be Broadway's Elder Cunningham. So before getting cast in the show, were you at all familiar with the story, and why did you feel the need to be part of telling this story?
Oh yeah, I was very, very entrenched in the Book of Mormon world. It was like again, like my musicals growing up were Dear Evan Hansen, Newsies, The Book of Mormon, and Hamilton. And like Elder Cunningham was such a I mean, at first actually I wanted to be Elder Price. Um I was like I need to sing that material. I think it's awesome and it's so much
Yeah.
fun. And then I had a friend that was I was like listening to it and I was singing Elder Price, and I had a friend that was like, you'd be like a much better Cunningham, right? Like and I was like, what? And then I actually like went through and like looked at Cunningham and I was like, wait, holy shit, this would be the most fun thing ever, and I would like kill to do this.
Yeah.
And thankfully I didn't have to kill anybody. I just got to do it. So now I'm like I just have like always wanted to play this role. There was like when I was growing up, a lot of the times like my training for musical theater was me like going in my garage when my parents weren't home because the cars weren't in the garage. So I would just like basically be like, okay, I can run around as much as I want during songs and like
That's
really
so relatable.
right. So I was just
So
like I'd
relatable.
sing Man Up and just like try and like run around as much as possible to be like, I have to be able to like do this. Whether it helped me or not, I don't know, but I mean, I'm doing it now. So like it was really like such a big part of my like growing up in the theater world and like learning about things and learning like what my type is really and like Cunningham is so clearly part of my type whatever world of like the funny sidekick guy that can like but what's really fun about Cunningham is that like he kind of only occupies that sidekick role for a large portion of Act One, and then afterwards becomes sort of like the pseudo main character, and it's so much fun to have a character that does that. Because a lot of times you have the funny guy on the side that just is the funny guy to be the funny guy.
Yeah.
Cunningham really gets to like I get to really flex a lot of different acting muscles in this role that are like it's my favorite my favorite thing. I just love it.
Yeah. Uh, so this next question is so full circle because like I can't believe you're here on the podcast and like I was one of the first people to find out you were going to Broadway and here you are in your Broadway dressing room and like this is crazy. So can you walk us through your Book of Mormon journey from your audition process to where you are now?
Yeah, it's a like it's a fun story. I mean, I saw the listing. There was a listing on Actors Access for like a replacement for the tour. And I just like it was at the same time there was a Dear Evan Hansen thing, like two of my number one shows that I was like, I need to do these. So I was like, I really wanted to be Evan Hansen and I really wanted to be Cunningham. So in my head, I was like, oh man, this internal conflict. I didn't even get a callback for Evan Hansen.
Ben
but
Platt who?
and Blahu. But I submitted for Cunningham. I got a request for tapes. So I filmed my little tapes and then I got a callback. So I went in person for my in-person callback and then there was like a actually my callback oh my God, I'm mixing up the timeline. My callback was on the same day um as my senior showcase. For those of you who don't know, senior showcase is like you go in front of like industry professionals, like casting directors and whatever, and you get to like show up and say like this is my 4 years of work, this is what it's got me. Here's a song. And then like casting directors, agents watch it, and so my callback was on the same day as my showcase. So I had to go do the audition on 42nd or wherever it was. I don't remember exactly where it was. And then had to come down. It was Ripley Greer. And then I had to
Yeah.
come down to the financial district to do my showcase, like an hour apart or 2 hours or something. And I it was a stressful situation, but I guess it went well because I got the part. I got Cunningham on tour. And I really like am so grateful that I got to sort of grow in this character while on tour because the lessons you learn on tour are very different than the lessons you learn out here on Broadway. Um, and I'm thankful that I get to do both in such close proximity to each other, like, chronologically. So I really like I I had a lot of fun doing it on tour and got to do it for a whole year. And then I had seen that Cody had posted on his Instagram that he was Cody, the previous Cunningham, had posted. He was like, "Oh, October 28th is my last day," and I was like, "Oh fuck." I need to like. Sorry, I don't know what I'm for.
No, you can curse. You can curse. You're
Great.
good.
I was like, great. I have to, I don't know. I guess I have to maybe make a play or like talk to people and see like what the vibe is here, like if I have to do anything. But I was kind of on the fence. My girlfriend, who is like my number one supporter and is the only reason I'm still around doing these things, was like, you have to send something or I'll kill you. Like, there's no way you don't say something to the creatives or the director or the casting director. Like, you have to at least send an email saying something. And I was like still kind of like on the fence, and then I don't know how much he wants this to be out, but like Cody DM'd me, and he was like, "Hey, like you should totally start sending emails right now, and like If I were you, I'd be sending emails. And I was like, all right, I guess like this is I'll send some emails. So I sent an email to the casting director and whatnot. I said, if you need anything, let me know. Like I would love to be in consideration for this. And then I got some emails back being like, okay, great, thank you for your interest. Like, we'll let you know if you need anything. The director was like, don't worry, like, you're in consideration for sure. Just like, whatever. I was like, cool. I'll probably never hear back about that. I was like, I'll stay on the tour. I'm fine with staying on the tour. I loved it. I really loved my tour family out there. Like they are such special people to me, and like I was more than content to be out there for even longer. It was such a fun time. But then like 3 months later, I randomly get a call in Atlanta, um, and they were like, "Hey, is this Diego?" I was like, "Yeah, this is Diego." They're like, "This is Carrie with the Book of Mormon. Carrie Gardner is the casting director. Do you want to join the Broadway company as the full-time Elder Cunningham?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome." I was freaking out, of course, and then like called everyone I knew. They were like, "Don't tell anyone." And I was like, "I'm gonna tell everyone." So I called my girlfriend immediately, my mom, my dad, my brother, my like so many people. And then like, well, I didn't call like any friends or anything. I don't want to get in
Yeah.
trouble. But like, I told them like, don't say anything. And then Hannah, my girlfriend, accidentally let it slip to like one person, and then it was like everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh,
So yeah, that's kind of the story. Now I'm
yeah.
here. This is
I
my
know.
fourth week on Broadway.
Yeah. I know. I will never forget finding out that you were going. I was like, this is crazy. The most deserving person in the world. I'm so
Oh
excited.
no.
Oh, and now it's been a month, which is craziness.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
so having played Elder Cunningham on tour and now getting to play this role on Broadway, what are the greatest lessons you learned from your time out on tour that you've now brought with you to Broadway?
Oh geez, it's a great question. I mean, so much. I really, I could not have done. I applaud the current Nabalungi who joined with me. Her name is Sydney. Like I am gobsmacked by this woman. She is just incredible and one of the most wonderful scene partners I've gotten the pleasure to work with. But she graduated this year. She graduated in May. Um, and I always say I'm like I don't think I could have done that. I don't think I could have graduated this year and then started to perform on Broadway. I really I had so much to learn just in terms of my artistry and how I can maintain a character like this for 8 shows a week forever.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
So I really like learning how to take care of myself, learning like the things that I have to offer are enough for like I don't have to do more than what I think is good, if that makes sense. I think a lot of the
yeah,
times young people, and not to say I'm not young, I hope I'm still considered. I'm 24. I think I'm still considered young. I don't know. I think that like a lot of the times we get sort of clouded on this idea of like I have to be a certain thing or do a certain thing, when in reality like something that Tor taught me was like, man, sometimes I'm gonna be tired, sometimes I'm gonna be anxious, and like how do I meet myself every day of like, well, how does that influence how Cunningham is tonight? Like if I'm anxious during the day and like anxious before the show, like Cunningham can be anxious as shit. Are you kidding me?
yeah,
Like this guy
yeah,
is like and so I feel like something that really taught me was like to meet myself where I am every day and like accept that that's where it is, and sort of not let that feel like shit, not let that be like, not let myself beat myself up about like,
yeah,
man, that one thing was just not blah blah blah. It's like actually like that was the show that it was that day, and that's so pivotal to live theater, is that like everything changes every day.
yeah,
Everything. The way
yeah,
you deliver a line, I mean like obviously to some extent like There are lines that I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, this is not a super important line, so it doesn't have to change any. It can just be the same thing. But like everything changes so much all the time that that's okay, and that's like specifically with a show like the Book of Mormon and with Elder Cunningham, that like it is okay to change things and to grow and to accept that like what worked yesterday might not work today, you know? And so I really that's one of the million things I learned on tour that like really helped me out and is like a guiding light for me here and being like grateful, of course, like when you're alone on tour, it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm so sad and
yeah,
my family is somewhere else. But then being like, well, then this show is for them. There's so many people in everyone's journey that you can just sort of be like, well, this show is for my teacher. This show, I'm going to focus on something that, like, my teacher told me, or something that, like, this show is for my friend, and a lot of this is just going to be for them, and, like, what would they laugh at here? So that's sort of um, things that have carried me through and helped me reach this awesome, awesome goalpost that I'm at.
yeah. I relate to that so much because as an actor, I'm like, if I mess up or I do something and I didn't like the way I did it, I'll be like bummed over it and like I'll obsess over it. And my teacher's like, relax, like that's the story you told tonight. Tomorrow
Yeah,
you'll tell a different story. 2 weeks from now, maybe that'll happen again and you'll like the way it happened. So I think that truly is the magic of live theater.
100%. Yeah, 1000%.
So as you continue to grow with Elder Cunningham, how do you feel both you and your portrayal of the character have evolved as time has gone by?
It's gotten healthier. That's one thing. Not that it
Yes,
was
vocal health.
unhealthy. Vocally, it's gotten healthier. Um, because this character can really get away from you
Yeah, even just man up by itself, it's like, whoa.
yeah. Um, and I mean something. Sorry, wait. What was the question?
Just how you and your portrayal of Cunningham have evolved as time's
Right,
gone by.
right. Yes, yeah. I think that like for me, it goes back to like the last thing I was talking about was like really getting to learn that like this is so much fun, and if it's not so much fun, I'm doing something wrong. Um, specifically with this character is it's like there is so much to find here and so much to like grow and learn with that like that in and of itself is a lesson to me every day being like, oh wait, the audience actually laughed a lot at that one thing that I've never done before, like what is that? And so it's sort of taught me to like listen to myself and listen to um like the others around me and get to like mine little things that I'm like, okay, this is what that is for now, you know? And not being married to anything
Mhm.
that I'm like, I mean, there's a couple of bits that I am like, there was one that they cut recently that I was like, I love that bit. I used to do like a Michael Jackson pose at the end of a song, and they were like, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's not exactly what we need there. And I was like, yeah, I know, I get it, fine. But it was like, but like things like that are just like, I gotta just switch things up sometimes, and that's okay, and that's fun, and
And
like
it also
finding
keeps
joy.
it fresh for you as an
Oh
actor
yeah,
because you've
oh
been
yeah.
doing the show for so long that now when you get to try a different perspective or a different take on something, like it's new and fresh for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1000%.
So, what was your overall experience like getting to make your Broadway debut in this role that you had toured with, and now getting to tell this story on Broadway after, loving it so much being a child? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was strange. It was incredible. It was so much fun, and like I had so many people there that night that like my family flew out, and like so many people were just there to cheer me on that I was like like my cup was full is the saying. Is your cup is full of whatever. I don't actually know where that saying comes from now that I think of it. But my cup was full. um, I just was so full of gratitude and excitement, and there was at the beginning of the show I was kind of like really, I stood there and I was like, oh shit, this is Broadway. Like for a second, it hadn't like clicked because I had been doing it for a year. So I was like, oh, tour stop number 5 million, who like whatever. And then I was like, but actually, this isn't just the tour. This is what people reach for so long, and I'm here so quickly. And I sort of started getting in my head about like, well, then I need to like really like do. And then I got out on stage, and I was kind of a little too much for my liking and pushing more than I needed to. And then I just sort of, it was during You and Me, but mostly me with like Kevin. And Kevin is just such an incredible scene partner that I was like, let me just listen to him for a second. Somebody who has done this for so long and has learned the ropes with this and was in my position years ago, and let me see what I can get from him in this exact moment. And it's just totally relaxed me and totally put me into this position of like, if I'm not listening and actively being here and just like totally overshadowed by this idea of Broadway, 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 I'm on Broadway, and there's so many people here, then the story is not going to get delivered. The performance, I'm not going to be pleased with what I give because I'm just going to be worried about like, did I give a Broadway performance instead of like, am I just gonna give the performance that's gonna happen tonight? You know,
Yeah.
like there's no grabbing at something or like gnashing at it. I always think of this idea of like people like have to have that instead of like letting it just come because something's gonna come out of my mouth. The
Yeah.
show is going to happen. Regardless of how much I want to like snag it and take it, I have to just leave it at a certain point. And I think that's something that really has like guided me through the rest of and continues to guide me through this run on Broadway is just like, if ever I'm like stressed or worried, it ends up having to be about who I'm talking to, what I want in that scene. It's all these fundamental acting things and whatever that like not only help deliver the story, but help me as a person and performer feel like better about what I'm doing. Because it's so easy to just be so judgmental of what you are putting out there. That it's great. But it was awesome. It was incredible to like come onto Broadway. It was so much fun.
Uh, so can you walk us through what your Broadway debut day looked like from the moment you woke up to stepping on stage? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I was really trying not to think about it at all. I was just trying to like be like, all right, this is show number, because I mean, by the time I finished tour, I was just about at 300 shows as
Wow.
Cunningham. So I was like, this is 301. Let me just treat it as 301. Obviously, that doesn't hold up once you're like behind that curtain and you're like, oh my God, I'm here. Like this
Yeah.
is the thing. But I mean, I woke up, drank a shit ton of water,
Mm.
got a good amount of sleep. I was like telling my girlfriend, I was like, you don't wake me up. You will not wake me up. I will wake up when I wake up. If you wake up before me, go back to sleep. Like I'm not getting up. Um, and so I did what I had to. I got breakfast. I went and met up with my mom. Got some lunch. And then, I didn't eat a bunch because I was, you know, nervous.
I'm the
But I ate
same. I'm
enough.
the exact same way.
Right. I
Yeah.
ate enough. And then I went, there's this tradition on Broadway. Anytime you're making your Broadway debut, you're supposed to
Yep.
go to
Kiss
the
the
George M.
statue.
Cohan statue. Right.
Yep.
For some reason, I had misconstrued or misunderstood that you had to kiss the statue.
Yeah, of course.
You have to kiss it. Did you hear
Yes.
this?
Yes, you have to kiss it. Yes.
Okay. People were telling me I was crazy.
No, you have to kiss it. Yes. That's the tradition.
So great. Me and Sydney, the new Nabalungi, were like, let's go. And I was like, we got to kiss this thing. And the whole time my girlfriend's like, you don't have to kiss it. I don't think you have to kiss it. I was like, okay, fine. We get there. First of all, that shit is like in the sky. It's
Yeah.
like hard. You got to climb it to be able to kiss it. I
Yeah.
couldn't kiss the statue. So we were just like, like blowing kisses at it, like standing there and getting pictures. Um, so yeah, that was fun. And then I went to the theater. I was there like 2 hours before the show. Just centered down, got ready. My friend, my roommate, my bestie boo, Joelle Rasky,
Yes.
Got me a Lego, so I started building that.
Oh, stop. That's so cute. And you got a little craft before the show. Those are your
I
favorite.
know, I need crafts. I need a little craft before the show. And this is cute because Joelle, she when I she puts like she puts a color, she assigns a color to people in her like text messages or whatever. For some reason, I'm orange, and so I was like, "Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Ah, you got me an orange thing because it's orange." So yeah, she's my bestie boy. I love Joelle.
Oh, I love that. So, looking back, how do you think the tour prepared you, not just professionally, but also emotionally, for the transition to become Broadway's Elder Cunningham?
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was.
So, how did tour prepare you both professionally and emotionally for the transition to become Broadway's Cunningham?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a big thing was just health and being able to like take care of myself and drink a shit ton of water and like
Yeah.
being able to like diagnose myself without freaking out of like, whoa, my voice sounds different today. Like I kind of wake up, not to the extent like Kevin Clay is a fucking machine. That guy knows his voice
Yeah.
inside and out, and he has to for Elder Price. So I'm not at that point yet, but like there is definitely if if I was waking up the way I do like 3 years ago, I would have been like, oh man, my voice is fucked. My voice is totally fucked. But really
Yeah.
being patient with like my voice, being patient with my body and giving it what it needs to be successful was such a big and important lesson for me. I really like got to grow a lot in that sense of like when I wake up in the morning, yeah, sometimes notes aren't there, but that's because I'm waking up in the morning and I'm tired and my body is not ready to move and my throat hasn't moved at all in 8 hours. So like, how do I find that? Like, I know now basically of like, if I feel a certain thing, I'm like, okay, I know that that is an issue in terms of like I'm getting sick or like allergies. I know that that's going to be blocked off no matter what I do. So sometimes it's just being like I don't think if I hadn't done the tour, I don't think I could have done what I did the second week on Broadway. That the on Tuesday on the second week, I had to call out of the show. And I would have never done that like if I was not like already prepared and knew what my body needs and what like I need to listen to. I would not have called out because at the beginning of the tour I didn't call out for a long time. And I just performed through sickness and got even more sick, and then really had to call out and be out for longer. And so like that's something that's so important to any performer is like knowing when you can say, all right, you know what, I'm giving the show at 70%, and when to say, I shouldn't because it's gonna hurt me down the road. I'm gonna, blow my voice out. I'm gonna be even sicker if I try and do this. Like let me take care of myself and be ready for the next day and the week because it's 8 shows. 8 shows is a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Nobody prepares anybody for that. Eight
Yeah.
shows is a lot. It's unnatural. Humans aren't supposed to be able to do this.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of maintenance and a lot of work.
Yeah.
And like as like young theater
Preach.
people, you're used to a weekend of shows, 2 weekends of shows. If you're
Yep.
lucky, you're doing the community theater, and maybe you do more than that. Maybe you do 2 weeks of shows. You're like people do not talk about or like train for 8 shows a week for an extended period of time.
Yep.
Like that people don't put that into perspective, and like that's hard. It's very hard. It's exhausting. I mean, like depending on the role you're playing. If you're playing the king in Hamilton, I'm sure an 8 show week is kind of fun. But an 8 show week for anybody who wants to run around and sing a shit ton and do a bunch of is like
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's not not easy. Um, yeah. So like learning that and like really experiencing that and being like, what do I need? And getting to cut my teeth sort of out on the road where it's like some audiences are quieter than others and learning like, okay, well, does that change my show? No, it shouldn't. Or like what does change based on how an audience is reacting? So that's a lot of like what I've sort of learned on the road.
And thank you so much for speaking out about that because not a lot of performers do. And I think it's something that we need to normalize and prioritize in this industry. So I am so grateful to you for speaking out about that. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's so important to talk about that. I think it's so like so long. I mean, the past is the past, but for so long people were just like it was this like badge of honor to be like, I never called out. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but then you probably gave shit. Like you can't avoid being sick sometimes, especially
Yeah.
if
We're
you're in New
human.
York.
We're human.
Yeah, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna feel like shit some days. So like you're proud of like sometimes giving a shittier performance. That's fine, like
Yeah.
great. But sometimes like that call out would have done a great thing for you. And it does do great things for people.
Yeah.
People are so precious about some things that it's like it's okay sometimes to be like, you know what, I can't today.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, I think like it's ridiculous. 8 shows a week is fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Five
Oh,
show weekend. We have 5 show weekends here in the Book of Mormon. 5 shows. Friday, 1 show, 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday. That's hard. It's hard.
yeah.
It's difficult to do, and it takes time to get used to and time to find. Not that it's impossible, but it's hard. And some weeks allergies are up. You're feeling a little crummy. That 2 show day can knock you out for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
tough, hard.
It's very tough. Oh. So, what aspects of the show and embodying Elder Cunningham have brought you the most enjoyment thus far? And what are your aspirations as the show continues its run and as you continue your run in this role?
Yeah, a little silly answer for that. I love Cunningham gets a lot of moments where he kind of just gets to like dance.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible dancer. Like like in terms of like if I had to learn a combo for like an audition, I'm fucked. Totally fucked. And mind you,
I
I've
got
never
you. I
had
got
to
you.
do
I
that.
got you.
I've never had to learn a combo for an audition. They didn't have me do that for this, which thank God.
Oh,
Um, but like when somebody says go and move and dance and groove, I love that. I love doing that with Cunningham, and there's so many moments where I get to do that. And like that's sort of also the same answer of like I want to like part of me is like I want to learn how to like break dance so that I could really like pull out
I
some
got you. I got
random
you.
exactly, yeah, thank you. So just pull out some random breakdance moments or like just ridiculous things of like why the fuck can he do that? That's funny.
I'm gonna
And
teach you how to break dance in between shows when I'm back. It's done.
thank you. Please. Please.
So these next couple questions, we're gonna rapid fire. You ready?
Great, great. Yeah, I'm ready to
Okay,
go.
let's do it. Favorite scene, song, and moment in the show that you look forward to performing every night?
Favorite scene? Oh shit. Favorite scene? I love the airport scene. There's an airport scene where I get to be with my parents. I think
Yeah.
it's hilarious and it's so funny. And like Cunningham's parents are so dismissive and silly, or like his dad is, and it's like the most fun I get to have on stage. Because it's just like what a goofy fucking thing. Favorite song is probably Baptize Me is so much fun to do.
Oh, good. I love
Um,
that song.
it's so much fun. Like really like and also getting to do it with so many different Nabalungis and getting to find new things all the time is just like mwah, it's so incredible. And then what was the last
Moment.
part?
Moment.
Moment. Oh, favorite moment? There's this very sad scene at the end of the show. Not very sad, but like where I'm with Navalungi, and I love doing that scene. I just something about it of being like, this show also gets to be sad sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And it really gets to hit at your heartstrings. And I think that's such a lovely that, and also a moment where I'm with Kevin before Man Up. That one's also very fun because I get
Yeah.
to like really be like sad, and that's fun. I like being sad.
Oh, favorite part and most challenging part about being in the show?
Favorite part has to be Man Up. I mean, like
Yeah.
Man Up is like so much fun, and favorite part is obviously like anytime I get to just like goof off and like have fun with people on stage, that's always fun. Like the Cunningham breakdown in Hasadiga is like ridiculous. That's so much
I
fun.
love that song.
Yeah, and then most challenging part is the sneakiest one, and it's I don't know if other Cunninghams will agree with me. I mean, on tour, some of them were like, "That is ridiculously hard." Is I Am Africa?
It's like
Yeah,
I have to do a quick change into, and like in this theater, there's a lot of stairs and up and downs, and then I have to go out and sing some of the highest parts that Cunningham sings in the whole show. He sings like A's for no fucking reason in that song, and it's awesome. It sounds awesome. Like I love the song. I think the song is so much fun, but I'm always out of breath after that moment. It
yeah,
is always exhausting, and it like I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe like Cody, who did the show for 13 years, could give me a pointer there of like, you don't have to do anything crazy there. It's fine. But like for me, I just am like always winded during this. So for some reason, that was the most like confusing part for me. I was like, why the fuck is this the hardest part in the show? It's literally like a 35-second Cunningham moment, but it is. It's also one of my favorites. I love it, but it is the hardest,
and also quick changes are the bane of my existence.
right?
Like,
These
no,
rapid
like,
fire questions, it's so funny. You said rapid fire, but I'm like literally taking so long to answer.
no, I love it. It's my favorite. Highlight moment in Book of Mormon so far.
When we were on the tour, we played the show in Salt Lake City, and that was awesome.
Oh,
That
that's
was awesome.
awesome.
So
Is
awesome.
there a particular project or moment that you feel truly defined you as an artist?
Axmas.
Yes,
Axmas.
bring
100%.
it
I
back
was
to the
talking about it
Christmas
earlier.
trees.
Axmas. I played a character in Axmas that was almost identical to Cunningham too. So it's like
It's your typecast. It's your
it's my
typecast.
typecast, the little loser, whatever. It's awesome.
Oh, I love it. So, looking back on everything you have achieved in this industry, what advice would you give your younger self entering the industry?
Um, I would say take it more seriously sooner. I think that a lot of the times when I was younger, I sort of just assumed that things were a certain way, and I just would like say like, well, I can kind of sing and I can kind of act because I was in a public school where not a lot of people did theater, and the more I started diving into the theater world, the more I realized how far behind I was in terms of like other people around me in the industry or like in auditioning for colleges and stuff like that, and how much I had to learn before I was ready to even go to college, and like it really helped having such a great group of people in my college. Like I surrounded myself with people that would check me all the time. That's so important. Have people that check you. Have people that are going to tell you that wasn't your best work because you will know that it wasn't. You need somebody to tell you that it wasn't sometimes. Not somebody that's going to like beat you down and treat you like shit, but somebody that is willing to say like, yeah, man, that wasn't your best work. You can do better. Or like, here's what you could do better. That is so, so, so important in this industry because if not, you're just going to get out there and be like, why doesn't anybody like what I'm doing? Well, it's because no one has told you that actually that one thing that you do isn't great. You know, that's something that I am so like glad that kind of naturally happened, but that wasn't an intention of mine, but that I found people that were willing and able to be like, you can do better than that. And that's so important.
Yeah. Oh, Diego, thank you so much for joining me on the Inspiration Show. You are truly
Thank
one of
you,
my
Addie.
favorite people and performers, and I'm just in constant awe of you and your incredible talent. And I'm so, so grateful for the opportunity to get to look up to you and watch you shine. I have so much love and admiration for you, and it was such an honor to have you here. You are the greatest. Thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you so much, Allison. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on. Best of luck with the rest of these.
You're the
Have you
best.
had Jack on yet?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
he's the best.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck
you're the
that guy.
best. Yes, I love you. You're the greatest.